Now, staying with the Middle East, as tensions simmer in the region, Iran has launched a renewed campaign against Israel with a grand display of Iranian military might, including ballistic missiles and drones, at a ceremony marking the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Iranian President Raisi called for Israel's expulsion from the United Nations for genocide in Gaza. Here's more details.
While tensions in the Middle East soar, Iran marked 45 years since its 1979 Islamic Revolution, with a display of its military might and a campaign against arch-foe Israel. Leading this campaign was Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, who called for Israel's expulsion from the United Nations over the Gaza war. He accused the Zionist entity of committing genocide in Gaza with the support of the US and other Western allies. In his speech to thousands at Azadi Square in western Tehran, Raisi demanded that bombing of Gaza should be stopped as soon as possible.
The way to eliminate the Zionist regime or to deter it from committing crime is cutting all economic relations and transactions with this regime. Bombardments against the oppressed people of Gaza must be stopped as soon as possible. Be aware, and the whole world should be aware, that the Zionist regime is ephemeral. They are just trying to buy time. The day has come for the death of the Zionist regime.
Since Iran's 1979 revolution, the Shiite Muslim power has had a deeply hostile relationship with Israel, the US, and Britain. Iran has also been under crippling US sanctions since Washington's 2018 withdrawal from a landmark deal, which granted it sanction relief in return for curbs on its nuclear program. Since the war in Gaza last year, tensions have spiraled further. Iran has been the biggest support for Hamas's war against Israel. Tehran hailed Hamas's October 7th attack as a success, but denied any direct involvement. Thousands of Iranians marched through the streets and squares, decorated with flags and banners with revolutionary and religious slogans. Support for the Palestinian cause and harsh criticism of the US and Israel dominated the ceremonies.
Our dream is to snatch the collar of Israel and knock it down in a way that it won't have the courage to get into a fight with Gaza children and its defenseless people next time. We are ready to sacrifice our lives for the sake of Islam and Quran.
Look at these people. They have taken to the streets and are supporting the ruling system, although they are under so much economic and psychological pressure. The psychological pressure is even more than the economic pressure. But despite all of that, they stayed their ground and showed up, especially the youth.
During the celebrations, paratroopers jumped from a plane while displaying a Palestinian flag as high-ranking Iranian officials attended the ceremony. On display were Iranian-made ballistic missiles, Shahed 136 drones and Simorgh satellite launchers. The West has accused Iran of supplying drones to Russia for its war in Ukraine and missiles to armed groups in the Middle East. The United States has also accused Tehran of actively facilitating attacks on American forces in the region and of backing attacks on Red Sea ships by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Crowds in the Azadi Square also held up portraits of the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, founder of the Islamic Republic Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, and popular General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a US strike in January 2020. The celebrations in Tehran come ahead of March 1st legislative elections, the first national vote since the countrywide movement shook Iran after the death of Mahsa Amini. The 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran overthrew the US-backed Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. In January 1979, the terminally and secretly ill Shah fled the country, which paved the way for the return of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini from exile.